All right, welcome back to another week draw. Today's theme is the first Patreon selected theme, and the theme is bugs. On Patreon, I asked people what themes they'd want to see me draw or things they want to see me draw, and I just kind of went based off of who had the most likes from the community about what they wanted to see. And there were a couple that were tied, but one of the higher liked ones was bugs. So I'm gonna be drawing some of my favorite bugs, starting with a swallowtail butterfly. Last year I tried to get some swallowtail butterflies to come to my house and hang out and raise their babies, and I really didn't get too many. I would see them out in the pasture on thistles and stuff, but they weren't coming up to my garden or anything. And to be fair, my garden was pretty minimal last year. It was my first year kind of growing a couple things, but I did plant some dill to try and attract them because their food source when they're little caterpillars is stuff like dill and carrots. But no such luck. You have to keep offering stuff like that for them to eventually notice it and come over. They don't just automatically know where everything is. But this year I noticed that the swallowtails finally showed up. I had some dill come back, but I didn't really plant dill in that same spot again. But I did plant a bunch of flowers like zinnias and echinaceas and coreopsis, things like that. So it was an attractive nectar source, but I also planted carrots, which is a big food source for their larvae or caterpillars, and they lay lots of eggs on the carrots. I really didn't notice too much damage, and I was okay with that because I like the butterflies and there's no way I would eat all the carrots anyway. So I got a couple caterpillars, and I definitely saw a lot of the adults flying around, and they were enjoying all of the pollinator flowers and the little buffet for their larvae, and they're definitely one of my favorites just because they're so stunning. I love the little, I don't even know what you'd call it, the little dangly bit at the end of their wing there. Their pattern is a little complicated. I'm definitely oversimplifying it and messing it up, but they are a cool little guy. A cool fact about their caterpillars is sometimes they'll look like bird poop. They can also look striped, but a cool thing they do is when they feel threatened, they throw out this little Y-shaped, I don't even know what you'd call it, thingy from the back of their head, and it's really stinky, but the visual and the smell of it will deter predators. So having swallowtail butterflies and their caterpillars in your garden actually somewhat will keep other pests away if they don't like the smell, or even things like deer. If the swallowtail butterfly caterpillar does their stinky thing. Deer are pretty persistent though, so I don't really think that's a great method if you have a deer problem, but just fun fact, it also looks like caterpie, which I think is cute. I'm not the most talented bug artist, if I'm being honest. They kind of feel like drawing robots or objects or something because they're so geometric and symmetrical in certain ways. They have very I don't even know how to describe it, just weird bodies that have sections and segments and weird little leg attachments, so I'm just not really well versed in that. And then also just the patterns are crazy, so a lot of these bugs are gonna be a little jank. I really don't draw bugs hardly ever, and if I do, they're very small. They're not really the focus point of the drawing. All right, so now I'm gonna draw my second bug. Another bug that I really like seeing around my place is cicadas. I know a lot of people hate them because either they don't like the noise they make or they're afraid of them. They are really shitty flyers and they are very big, so I can see why that might be scary for people. When I was a kid, I used to be scared of them in a way. My siblings would put the empty shells and hook them onto your clothes, and that freaked me out for a while, but then also there would be times where it didn't freak me out. I feel like as a kid I would get scared and unscared of random things randomly, but as a rational adult I like cicadas. I know they don't bite, I know they're harmless, and I think they're rather cute, and I like their presence, and they really aren't super damaging to my knowledge. I know that they're kind of tree suckers, or they suck juices out of trees. And I guess if I was an orchard or a tree nursery, that'd piss me off. I think they're more detrimental to baby trees. I think larger trees, they don't really affect too badly unless there's a horrible infestation of them. But for the most part, they don't harm my trees, so. I really like the fact that cicadas are kind of like nature's little snack. My dogs and my cats love to catch and eat them as a crunchy little treat. They hear the cicadas' wings flailing around on the ground, or they hear them screaming and they get excited and they run outside and hunt them down. There's many parts of the world where these large cicada emergences are really great boosts in the ecosystem's food chain, as far as really dense protein and nutrients and things like that, especially with the intermittent cicadas coming out. So you get to have one really good year where everything kind of booms and boosts it up, but then it's not every single year, so it's not everything's getting overabundant all the time. Here in Missouri, we get both. We get intermittent and yearly cicadas. The yearly ones are this green color with white bellies and some black markings, like the one I'm drawing here. And then the intermittents are going to be, I think, more like the black ones with the red eyes. There's a couple different species, obviously, of both, but I've seen a couple different variations. Last year I saw this really cool one that was kind of a giant cicada. It was a little bigger than the yearly ones, and it was yellow and black, so I thought that was cool. When I lived in Texas, they had dwarf cicadas. Those were really cute, as well as the big guys, so the little guys were cute to look at. I'm not sure if they were yearly or not, but when I was there I saw them. And I personally like the noise. I feel like it's, a sign of summer. It's a vibe. I like seeing their cute little shells everywhere. Noise is comforting. It's it feels right. It feels like there's life happening. And, they kind of shut up at a certain point at night, but also I just can't hear them in my house at night, I guess. So anyway, I'll quit yapping about the cicada and just kind of finish up drawing him. I was thinking of maybe putting him on a pot or something, because they be hanging. All right, now I'm gonna do a weird one. I'm actually, the more I live here on my current house, I'm discovering a lot of bugs that live in Missouri that I wasn't aware of. I guess I just associated them with other places because I just never seen them before. Because for the most part, I've been living in a lot of apartments up until as of late, the last 3 years. And while I see a lot of bugs, it's like, unless you're living somewhere with a lot of bugs daily, you're probably not going to notice every single species that exists. But anyway, I saw one of these dudes. They're called a stag beetle. I think this is called like a red-brown stag beetle or something. It's native to Missouri, which every time I see a bug, I always Google if it's native or not, if I don't know what it is. Because I need to know if I need to kill it or not. And this guy's a native. They like to eat, I think, wood matter, like rotten wood. They will show up around like mulch beds and wood piles. And I just think they're cute. They have little pincers, little cute little eyes. I like their little antennas. They're a little freaky, but also cute at the same time. I can appreciate a cleanup dude who's just trying to fight a bro with his antler mandibles for his ladies. I'm assuming that's what they're for, or just to carry stuff, I don't know. I have not looked up much about this bug, but he's a non-threatening guy, and when I find them in my driveway, I relocate them to my garden, where I know they're gonna have a good time. Right, now I'm gonna draw a guy who I also didn't realize lived even in North America. I feel like I only ever have associated this bug with Africa. So, you know, too much Lion King and The Mummy, I guess, for me. But I first realized they lived in North America when I was in Texas, but Missouri has them too. I guess they're just everywhere. But the dung beetle is a bug I really like. I think they're really cute. I know that they deal in the business of doo-doo, but it doesn't seem that gross. Like, they make it this dry little ball. It's usually like a cow or a horse manure type poop, which is like not really that gross. It's like just grass material. But anyway, they're cute. They have their little shovel head. They're so singular in their mission to get doo-doo ball. I actually am not even really sure if they eat the doo-doo ball or if they just like, I'm assuming they eat the doo-doo ball. And I guess they wouldn't build a house with it. They're making it like a ball. But they're cute. I like how they like build it up and then they'll push it with their head if they like get it stuck somewhere. So they're using all parts of their body to get this ball home. And they'll try and steal each other's ball, which is cute. Little thieves. I don't know, I just really like them. I like ecosystem important species. Without these guys, be a lot more doo-doo in this world. And I don't think we appreciate that enough. Same with vultures. You know, it's like without them, there'd be a lot more carcasses around and stuff. So I think they're cute. I appreciate their mission. And yeah, that's why I'm drawing him, being all wackadoodly. Let Mooney lick my fingers, and it's kind of gross. It's how she shows affection. She likes to lick. And I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of animals, so anytime they can, like, have a moment where they're hanging out and getting affection, I just kind of let them chill. My next guy I am drawing is a Bumblebee, which is native to Missouri. I recently got stung by a wasp, so fuck them. But I do really like our native pollinators. We have a lot of cool little bees that are native. There's like this neon, kind of like, not neon, what would we call, like a platinum green looking bee that like looks shiny. I don't even know what it's called, but that one's cool. But I thought I'd draw a Bumblebee just because I like how fluffy and cute they are, and I felt like it would be iconic. But I like all of the native pollinators because they tend to be pretty chill as long as you're not threatening them. You can even like pet them a little bit. They fly off. Bumblebees can be a little defensive if you come up on their nest or whatever. I think they're mostly ground dwellers. I've come across them in like leaf piles. They'll make like a nest, and they usually have like a group of, I think anywhere from like 3 to 6 individuals with like a queen or something. I might need to fact check my Bumblebee facts, but That's the only time I've ever seen them be moderately aggressive, is if you are at their nesting site, but otherwise when they're pollinating, they're pretty chill guys. I see them all over my thistle that I have around, and what's to hate about them? I don't even think they make honey. I don't know what they do. They definitely pollinate, and they bumble. But I figured I want to get a nice diverse cast of bugs here. I don't want to just do like a billion butterflies. Otherwise I would have drawn like a monarch and a Luna moth and that one moth that I think it's called a hawk moth. It looks like a hummingbird or others. But yeah, I didn't want to like over dominate it with like one type of bug. So I've got I got two beetles, but they're so different, they're different beetles. Whereas butterflies, they're all kind of similar with different patterns, but also butterflies are hard to draw, so maybe that's the cop-out. But anyway, this is my bee-type stinging representative. Alright, so now I'm going to draw, again trying to go with diversity here, but I'm going to draw a dragonfly. I like dragonflies because they eat mosquitoes like crazy. I love that they just kill everything. They also are murderizers of horseflies and other flies. They're just little Chadbots or helicopters. But I really like them. I love having them around. I love knowing that they're just devouring all the things in this world I hate. I definitely think I have less mosquitoes at my house because there's so many around. I have a pond that has tons of dragonflies. There's definitely a lot of dragonfly nymphs in there, and the nymphs will eat the mosquito larvae. And then when they're older and they become big dragonflies, then they eat the flying adult mosquitoes. So it's just hard to hate a dragonfly. Yes, they can bite, but it's gonna be like super uncommon. They're not gonna like come after you and bite you. That's gonna be a bite that you earned by pinning it down and just torturing it, probably. So, as long as you leave them alone and let them do their business, do their work type shift, everyone's gonna be cool. Other things you can do to attract dragonflies, other than providing like a water source for them to lay their larvae, is apparently they really like sticks or like places to perch where they can kind of get a scope of things. So I've seen people put just sticks standing straight up out of the ground as like a place for them to land. I've also seen horse girls wear fake dragonflies on their helmets as a way to repel horseflies. I have no idea how effective that is. I feel like it would be really hard for me to personally test it because when I'm riding, I haven't really had too much of an issue with horseflies. I mean, definitely regular flies, but I just don't know. I feel like someone needs to do a comprehensive, like, multi-ride review of that method. Or maybe it exists and I've just not looked it up, but I've also read, though, that things like hornets and wasps really hate dragonflies because they eat their larvae, so then they'll attack. So I'm like, I don't know if the trade-off of keeping horseflies away is good if hornets are gonna attack me. But again, I don't know if either or is true. I would like to know, but until then, I just really love the dragonfly. And they're welcome at my pond anytime. I think they're slightly different than a damselfly. I think we have both of those in North America, but I don't know if damselflies are similar as far as like behavior to dragonflies. But anyway, this is just the blue kind. the dragonfly you know and love. All right, now we're just trying to fill this page out. I feel like because I committed to the spread, I need to kind of fill these spaces out to complete the page. So I'm gonna add in a controversial pick, a spider, to fill out the arachnid family. I actually have a phobia of spiders. It's definitely gotten better as I've gotten older. When I was younger, I was definitely like I'd like spaz out if I even saw a spider. Definitely probably caused by the tormenting of the men in my life. They're just gleefully watching me be terrified of spiders. So anyway, I'm gonna do a jumping spider because there are spiders I'm not afraid of anymore at all. And one of them is jumping spiders. In Missouri, we have a couple species, but I'm just gonna kind of go off the bold jumping spiders look. I actually have a couple jumping spiders that like live in my house or like I see them out in my garden, but there's one that lives on my kitchen window that I accidentally brought in because I cut some flowers to put in a vase, and there was a little guy. I don't think it was a bold one, but it was like a miniature variety. And I put him on my windowsill to be in my like windowsill plants, and now he just lives in my kitchen window. Anytime I'm washing my dishes, I see him up there, and he's probably killing all of the fungus gnats, which is great. That's why I love them, because they just eat flies and fungus gnats and things I hate once more. And they're cute and fluffy, and they're very non-threatening looking. I know they don't really bite, and I love how predictable their movements are. I know they jump, but they also move very slow and thoughtfully. They're not like spazzing out and running towards you like something like a brown recluse would do, which fuck that spider. I kill on sight. Other spiders I'm chill with are orb weavers of most varieties, pretty much all jumping spiders. I'm kind of okay with wolf spiders. I don't kill them, really, but I definitely don't want them near me. But for the most part, they don't really come inside. They kind of chill out around the house. They seem to like being outside, so I'm like, okay, we have like a respect system here, and I know they're really good at killing bugs I hate, but they also kill brown recluses, which I fucking despise. So, me and the wolf spider have a common enemy, and as long as they stay in their lane were cool. But they do disgust me visually in multiple ways. Size, menacingness, the way they carry their babies around is just disgusting. So, that's my spider tolerance level. Basically, the furrier and more predictable their movements, the more okay I am with them, and the, like, balder and more scurrying, the more I hate them. Like, I'm not even, like, that scared of a black widow. Like, I obviously am never gonna touch one or pick it up, but if I, like, lifted up a piece of wood and saw it, they really aren't the type to, like, scurry at you. I've done it a couple times and I've seen them, like, oh, he's there. Like, they usually just want to, like, freeze and chill and see what you're gonna do. It's just the spiders who panic. I know we're both scared of each other, but they're making it worse, so. Other reasons I like jumping spiders is not only are they cute, but they love to they do a funny little dance when they're trying to get a lady's attention. And they put their back legs up and they put on a show. And who doesn't love that? Anyway, that's my spider rant. And then you may ask yourself, what about tarantulas? Because they're big, but they're also fluffy. They technically fall into that category of, like, predictable movement and furry. I don't fuck with a tarantula. It has something that kind of overrides everything else, is like size. The size and aggression level is not my thing. There are some docile species, but there's also a lot of really aggressive tarantula species. I believe the orange-footed Mexican tarantula, I probably fucked up what that's called. I know they're pretty chill. I've held one. They're cute. They have little orange feet. But then there's ones in Texas where it's like, if you see one, fucking crush it to death or, like, run away, because they're the kind that spaz. They're the aggressive where they come at you to fight. They're trying to fight you. And they can be poisonous, or I guess venomous, sorry. Anyway, I'm not, like, going out to, like, kill things like that, but I don't fuck with especially if I saw a tarantula in the wild, I'm not fucking with that. But if I saw someone's pet tarantula who's just chilling there, I mean, not my thing, but I'm also not, like, terrified of it, you know? Like, I'm not gonna make them feel bad about their pet, because, you know, they're probably a cool guy. So, now that's the end of my spider rant. I thought I had to just clarify the nuances there. Again, trying to fill out more variety, and then also I don't want to miss anyone that I really like. I love Wheelbug. I didn't know I loved Wheelbug until I moved to Missouri. And I always liked assassin bugs. They had assassin bugs in Texas when I lived there, and I knew they were chill guys. But when I moved to Missouri, the main assassin bug, it seems like, is called a Wheelbug, because they look like a saw was just thrown into their back and half of the saw is coming out of their back. I have no idea why they would even evolve to be that way, but they're chill. They eat bad bugs. They're everywhere on my property. They love it here. There's lots of little bugs to eat. I don't spray pesticides on my garden or anything, so I kind of stand by the philosophy of let the prey bugs live and the predators will come. Just, like, sacrifice a little bit of them destroying your shit for the good guys to come in and save the day. And that is the Wheelbug. I actually planted some sunflowers, and I feel like that was the catalyst for, like, tons of them showing up. But anyway, moving on. We are going to draw somewhere very scandalously in the crack. I didn't want to overdo it with the butterflies, like I said, but I love the Monarch. I love her. I'm so sad at the state of her population. I really hope we can save her. So I'm drawing her little caterpillar as like a way to put her in here without it being too butterfly-y. But I have a lot of common milkweed that grows on the highway near my house and in my pastures, and I like having it around. I like seeing, I've seen a couple monarchs. It's kind of sad. I've only seen like maybe like 5, but they are there. They are here. They are around still, so they're not extinct this year at least. But I'm really hoping to get more milkweed planted. I really want to make like a really big pollinator patch with a lot of milkweed in it to try and help this be like an oasis for them, and hopefully have like a small population that knows it can stop over here on its journey to and from Mexico or whatever they're doing here during this time. And the caterpillars are really cool. I love their freaky little antenna, and they are very striped and crazy. I love that they're a caterpillar that eats a very poisonous plant, because I guess it makes the caterpillar itself very toxic. So if anything tried to eat it, it would just be poisoned. So then they just learn to not eat them, and I guess that's why their colors are so vibrant. They're like, hey, I'm super visible, but I'm super visible to let you know that if you eat me, you will die. We will both die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make for your kind to learn what this shit means. So, cool little evolutionary thing. Yeah, bugs just eat toxic stuff are just kind of cool. It's similar to like poison dart frogs. They're made poisonous by the stuff they eat, I believe. I think they eat a poisonous bug, and then that makes them poisonous. It's like this chain of poison where it all begins with the plant, I think. I don't know. There might be some animals that are just toxic and that's just the way they are. Like me. Alright, so that is bugs. If you would like to submit an idea for these draw videos, this was pretty fun. I liked doing an idea that someone else came up with. You can join my Patreon for even just $1. I didn't want it to be like a huge barrier to entry because I just want a place where I could post more stuff without it just being like I don't know, free for, Instagram or whatever. And just something a little more exclusive where people who really care about this channel and stuff can have more input. So if you're interested in that, I might make a post every month asking the same question about what you guys want to see. And then again, I think I'll go with the same system of having the most likes be the one that I maybe select. It's not a guaranteed thing, but definitely something I would highly consider. So yeah, if you want to see something be drawn, either go like it or comment it for next month's suggestions. And with that, I will just see you next week.